many projects. I'm guessing this is yours because it says shocking pink and you're pretty shocking. Everyone keeps asking them where they came from and I just say Japan. Hello. Doing what monkeys do. Good morning. 11:43. It's still the morning. We have Spunky, Mitto. Hello. What are we doing today?
We are going to see our buddies at Cage Laser and deliver some parts.
We have some parts, yes. I actually thought the TIG one was much bigger. I thought you had a Touareg.
It's basically golf on stilts.
Yeah, literally the golf, high up golf, yeah man. As you guys can see in the back, we have my Kazama front bumper and my Kazama side skirts as well. When I dropped the JZX down last time, I actually forgot to give Will the bumper. It was 11 o'clock at night though. Is that an excuse?
Not really. I mean, they've got a giant van it could have been in as well.
And I forgot to give them the wheels refurbished. That's a story for another day. Cage Laser have very kindly done my rear jacking bar on my JZX, and they've done my dash bar on the roll cage. The only thing they couldn't do was the front bumper support, hence we've got the bumper in the back. I was actually meant to drive today, but Mitto says he's got like 50 mpg out of this thing once, so.
Once. I think it was when I first bought it, off the grandma.
When we get to Cage, we're going to check out my JZX, and I think they've probably got a few other projects we can look at as well.
There's always something fun to look at at Cage.
What do you guys think of Mitto as well? I've sort of said to him I'd like to have him in the vlogs a bit more, but it's down to you guys, so put a yay if you like Mitto in the comment section.
Wow.
Put a nay if you think you don't want him on the channel.
Put a nay, then he'll stop bothering me.
Shut up, man. It is a little bit rainy today, but winter is upon us. Right, we will see you guys in a bit. Cage Laser. We made it. Very safe driving. What's your MPG?
38.9.
Mate, that's respectably, man. Very good. You're gorgeous. Yes, you are. What's Uncle Mitto got? Oh, good boys.
How are we, man?
Where are we?
Cage Laser, mate. Cellulite, look at it. Too much junk in this trunk. It's got all cellulite in it.
Ian, stop touching my car, man. Oh, look at this. All the front tubular sections now all painted.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking really good, man. These are the tubs, or the cardboard template for the tubs, which the guys are about to start making in the next few weeks. Looking really
lovely,
cool, man. Custom ML brackets as well. Looking absolutely beautiful. The boys have also started making up some little mounting brackets for my wing braces. So that'd be like a triangular base that goes from there to there, just to keep it all nice and rigid.
Fair play to Dave. That is some serious hammering skills.
Yeah. Right, and we've got R34 4-door.
Yeah, so this is Luca, one of our other drivers.
Yeah.
So hopefully he'll get out with you boys at some point and
do some crashes.
Yeah, banging doors and stuff.
And before this he had a S14.
Yeah, S14.
Now he's got R34. Yeah. Very posh. That cage sponsorship's doing really well by the looks of it. Obviously he hasn't had the cage put in quite yet, but the boys are just getting it all prepped, ready for their fabrication skills. Oh. So RB25 Neo.
It's definitely an RB.
Yeah.
It's got a big old turbo on it.
Look at that.
I think that's like the size of the bin in my toilet. That is massive.
One sick roll cage coming up. Oh look, I've just noticed all my parts are on the wall. It's my intercooler looking a little bit battered. It's my headlights, that's my side skirt. That wheel is a BAC Mono.
Yeah, BAC Mono.
It will be one.
So all that's left for us to do now is powder coat it and fit some panels.
Crazy.
That's it really. So the boys have spent a few weeks welding them together, so 6 of them in total.
Oh, I'm mad to think this is going to be like a full car. It's crazy, isn't it?
All laser cut and then welded together, and then the body panels are still hand beaten aluminium.
Nice.
So it's not like fast press form, like the body panels take months to build.
If I kind of stand back here, you guys can get a bit of a sort of better perspective on what the front of the car is going to look like. Once the front bumper's back on, obviously you won't kind of tell it's got all that metal work underneath. What do you think of my cage, man? Sick.
Such a nice cage, but Dave is not going to be happy, mate.
Dave, we love you, man. So that is the only problem with this cage, is as much as it looks sick, it's going to be an absolute see you next Tuesday to paint it.
I think it's going to be quite problematic, but the end result will be
sick.
Very lovely.
These are pretty cool as well. Lads are going to be making me some cool gussets for the back of my cage. Obviously car is really dusty and stuff, but it's going back to Dave's to get painted after this, so there's no kind of point in cleaning it. We'll do all that once she's been freshly painted. Can't get enough of this cage, man. Like I said to you guys before, the fact We've got all this interior in here. It's a massive, massive asking when making a cage, so the guys have literally smashed this out of the park. Main objective really is to kind of keep it looking like a street car, but obviously with kind of comp car feels underneath. Right, one of my other projects, many projects, the Red Beast. Look at the back, what have we got? Strength. This is my new jacking bar. What's really cool with these bumper bars as well, these JZXs, the diff is quite a long way down there, so it does actually make it quite hard to jack your car up in the pit. With these little jacking bars, that is a problem no more. You guys can see there we've got a little jacking point. Jack goes on there and it makes the car 10 times easier to jack up. She's cool, man.
She's swifty.
Big boat nugget.
She's a big girl. Oh, look at your door cards.
Oh, look at that. Look at them door cards. Oh, what a difference, Will.
Yeah, man.
It does make a massive difference.
I think you should put a giant picture of me on it. I can be like your mascot when you're driving.
You can door yourself in. Yeah, they are looking fantastic. Obviously before we just had all these sort of the guts of the doors hanging out looking a little bit untasteful. Now it looks very, very race car-esque. If you guys have a JZX and you want some door cards, these are now available from Caged off the shelf.
They're not only for your JZX, we've also got S14, S15 is going to be available in the next week or so. There's R32 and R34 four-door will be coming available. So that's like all the cool stuff really.
Yeah. And Caged have got a new website.
And I've got a new website. Everything will be available on the website, which you're going to put a link in here. Oh yes, I'm
this one's learning, man. You're getting good at this, dude. What's that?
Magic wand. If you want to buy a bit of tube,
Like, we will supply, like, if people just want a main hoop and they have dimensions, we'll bend it and just supply them a main hoop or a front leg or straight lengths that they can mill in. Like, we're more than happy to help out guys building their cages themselves, you know, as long as it's safe and it's secure.
Or if you want to build £1 million race car and you need a jig making.
Will's got a little bit of work to complete first, but he's going to be starting the front bar and the last little bits on the JZX in about 2 weeks. And once that's done, I'm going to be picking it up and taking it down to ECU Master to get a full standalone and get all the wiring sorted out. We've got a few more chassis here in the making. I'm quickly going to show you guys the visual differences. So that's a BAC Mono. That is a Westfield chassis. So you guys can see it's visually quite a bit wider.
Single seat, two seat, suspension's pretty similar, but the engine sits in the front of these where it's all in the back of the Mono, and the gearbox is in the rear of the Mono, and also the suspension of the rear is on the gearbox. It's very Formula One like.
Yeah.
This is very similar to a standard car setup, you know, your diff sits in here, your gearbox tunnel, your engine
up front, yeah.
Your wishbone points are here. It's all quite similar to a road going car, whereas this is pretty unique, pretty one-off.
And amazing to think how little distance they've got. I suppose with the Monos you've got quite sort of wide side panels, haven't you?
Yeah. So out here you'll have like your intercooler, your radiators, like all of that, like in pods outside the chassis.
Crazy.
I find it amazing how little space you need to fit your SR20 in either of these chassis, especially this one. Definitely a 5-speed going in, no problem.
Has anyone ever put an SR in a Caterham or a Westfield?
They should. We should.
I've read people doing different swaps. I've seen rotary one,
Crazy.
Westfield.
Imagine that, man.
That'd be scary.
That would be nuts.
That would be really scary.
Really, really interesting place this. If you like your fabrication and your metalwork, then you're really going to love Cage Laser. Once your wonderful parts have been made, they end up in here, in their purpose-built powder coating room. Pretty cool. If you guys want to get some of your stuff powder coated, feel free.
Would you like to see, because we're talking about powder coating, where they keep the pink?
Why are you so obsessed with pink today?
What's wrong with pink? It's a happy colour. Let's go and see the pink zone.
I'm guessing this is yours because it says shocking pink and you're pretty shocking.
That entire box is mine.
Mitto wants me to do my JZX in that pink.
The subscribers should vote in the comments section on just everything being pink. And then we can just be the pink channel.
Let us know below, should we keep the JZX red in the Power Vehicles colours, or should we change it to fluorescent shocking pink and appease Mr. Mitto? Let us know below. One thing we forgot to mention is, I don't know if you guys can quite see as well, we've actually got a full sump guard which reaches all the way back to the gearbox bell housing, so a full kind of aluminium
protective layer.
Not gonna lie, I am proper excited to get back on the drift track. That's the only thing with the JZX. When you see it in there without the side skirts and bumper, it looks kind of a bit taxi-like, doesn't it? A bit naked. Those carbon canals are sick. Really nice, aren't they? Everyone keeps asking me where they came from, and I just say, Japan. One bumper delivered. Very exceptional courier services. Thank you, sir. The heavens have opened.
They have.
It's very wet. That completes our little cage laser adventure. Oh, I'm getting itchy fingers looking at my drift cars and not being able to skid them, but the time will come pretty soon. Ugh. Woo! You need a wee, right? Mitto's doing a wee.
1 hour later.
So yeah, that was pretty cool. Great to catch up with Will and all the guys at Cage and to see the progress on the cars. We're not actually going to see the boys at Cage until 2020 now, so in about 4 weeks time when I'm going to be picking up the JZX. Like I mentioned, it's going down to ECU Master to get all the ECU work. Then it's going to be going to Dave's to get the rest of the paintwork finished, and then back to Garage 21 just to kind of finish off all the last odds and sods. S15 is also looking absolutely spectacular. The whole front tubular section, like you guys saw, has been painted. It's got the sump guard on it now. The rear jacking bar is being done. All we've got left to do really is cut the whole back of the car off and clamshell it.
Simple.
Not really. What is next?
Reverse.
Yep. Idiot. DY engines?
Yeah, DY engines, go see Dave.
What bumpers are you collecting? Charge speed?
Charge speed.
Which is very in Japan.
The fab work there though is just
Next level.
just so good.
Yeah, and that cage, I know we said it a million times, but Mitso will tell you to make that cage to that quality whilst retaining all that interior. How hard?
Not setting it on fire.
How hard a job is that?
That's massive.
It is massive.
That's massive. It's like 10 times harder than regular.
Yeah. Big credit to Cage and Ben as well, who did most of the fabrication
You're a
work.
lucky boy, man.
That's enough from Laurel. It's enough from Hardy. See you guys in a bit. Woo! That is a big cow, man. I want a cow. Ta-da!
Ta-da! We're at DY Engine Services. D is for Dave, Y is for Yantel. It's another Dave.
Too many Daves, man.
There's never enough Daves, because Daves do good stuff like build engines and paint cars. And obviously Will Dave, like, you know, makes roll cages, so we're all good.
Inside there is a very, very cool machine shop. Ta-da! Here we are.
Entrez-vous!
Yes, many machines, and this is only the start of it.
That one, I know what that is because I want one. That's called an aqua blaster. So basically fires water and media being like sand or like baking soda or something,
Bits.
and it cleans stuff, so you can clean your engines up real nice.
Quite cool, and you can put your hands in here.
Dude,
Right, here you go, there's my hands.
that's not the first rubber glove you want to say, is it? This one is for decking the blocks. So you put the block in there and it'll skim it all. What is that? The heads. It's one or the other. But it basically makes warpy things flat.
Nice and flush.
This is where all of the nitty gritty stuff happens. And then there's another room, which is a clean room, where once the dirty work has been done, because all this is like machining. So if you look in here, there's all like bits of swarf and horrible stuff that just comes off, you know, machining work. So that's all done in here, and there's another room over the back we'll go in a minute, and that's where they do the clean stuff.
Kind of like an assembly room, as it were.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
We can't get Dave on camera, can we?
Dave, this is Dave.
Hi, Dave.
He hates the camera.
Dave's more of a machine man than a cameraman.
Dave is a machine.
That's why I've got you, because you're the camera bitch.
Thanks for that. This is a crank grinding machine, massive grinding disc, which you can then remove material from the crank with. That thing there is a lathe. You can put an object in there and spin it, so you can basically do things like machine like a ridge like that, so you can like make cylindrical things or make gear knobs and stuff
Poor
like
you,
that.
man, I'll put you right, it's like engineering explained.
I am not an engineer. I'm
I
just a
think
dude
we
who
noticed
like
it now.
just done stuff.
No,
in
you're
cars.
doing well, man.
This is another crank grinding machine. This is the borer. This thing goes down the bore, cuts it out, makes sure it's straight, and it's all like digital and calibrated, and there's various other micrometers and measuring implements that you use to set it up, because obviously it's got to be exactly square.
Spot on, yeah.
Yeah, and it's got to be square on both planes, so horizontally and vertically.
We should also point out with boring as well, it's not necessarily just to fit a bigger piston because you want more power. Sometimes the blocks just naturally wear over time.
Exactly, that does happen as well.
Yeah.
But then sometimes you get away with just using the honing machine and re-honing it and re-gapping the piston rings. So you put a slightly bigger piston ring in for all intents and purposes, which will basically make up for the wear.
If you guys are kind of wondering what a bore is, it is that part of the block right there. And obviously over time that hole can get even though it's in microns, slightly enlarged.
Exactly that. Got your bore there, and that's where your crankshaft sits. There's a cap that goes over the top, makes that a circle, and then the line bore is down that way. The irregular bore is cylinder bore in that way. And then once you've done the line bore, that machine there, there's a line hone. It creates a pattern on there that allows the oil to stick to the wall of the crankshaft as it rotates, which basically keeps it lubricated. So, and then the last machine over there.
This is actually a valve cutting machine. If we look in here, we can actually see, what's this? Got a three-angled cut?
Three-angle cut, Effectively, the guys here cut the valves in and make sure that the valves sit evenly all the way around the surface. And then what they'll do is it's called lapping the valve. So you put the valve in, you spin them around and make sure all the faces are kind of like ground together. So it's almost like using the valve itself to sand the head so that it sit beautifully.
Nice and flush.
So you put like a special sucker thing on it, and then you just sit here just doing this. So it's like starting a fire when you're a kid, you know.
Shall we go into the assembly room?
Let's go into the assembly room.
There's some pretty exciting stuff in there, man. Dave actually built Ollie Evans's 2JZ and he won the British Drift Championship last year.
And it didn't skip a beat. So basically, once Dave's built an engine, it just don't miss a beat really, which is why my engine's here, stashed somewhere apparently.
So that's maybe what's so magical about this place. On the outset, you wouldn't really understand the amount of skill level that's going on inside this unit.
Yeah, I mean, David's done this since he was literally a kid, because his dad was doing it. So it's just built and built and built and built. So, you know, for his years, his level of experience is off the charts.
Exceptional, yeah.
And he isn't just doing race car engines and drift car engines. And, you know, as we come in, he's, you know, putting valve seats in a 2J, and then the next second, mate, he walks in with a John Deere engine from his tractor.
Massive spectrum.
Yeah, he just loves the engine build. So
lots of goodness awaits us in here.
It does indeed.
Oh yeah. This is where the magic. Well, this is where part of the magic happens.
This is Dave's little private corner. So he comes in here, he shuts the door, and he ignores everything else, and just gets on with building his engines.
Yeah, man.
Lovely 2J in here. Some pretty fancy-looking pistons in it.
Let's have a quick little look. So if you've never seen in the top of a 2J block, what you now have?
This one is very special. So this is one of Dave's customers, a really lovely chap. He has a race car which is SR powered. In the class he runs in, he can only have a 2-litre engine. So he decided that the best thing to do was to go to Mazworks, because Dave's a Mazworks dealer, and he's actually done. He's been to America and done a lot of stuff with Mazworks as well. This is a Mazworks block, and then Dave has built it and put the head on it and done all this sort of magic tricks with it. And this thing is now cracking over 600 horsepower.
Crazy.
Potential for more, and it's 2-litre. It has got 1/2-inch head studs in it as well. What happens is that when you're at very high boost pressure, so you've got a lot of your turbo's forcing a lot of air into the engine, and then you're obviously blowing it up, but you're adding fuel and spark plug, which blows it up. So that the force of that explosion can be to the point where literally the head cannot stay mated to the block, so it'll literally just blow all of that gas out the side. That's something that's a big problem when you're running this kind of power level, because this is not a normal power level. That's especially for 2 litres. Anyway,
future project.
If you want to build an SR, don't just get Dave to do it, because he's sick.
And that's how you do it.
Yeah, and this is the new DY rocker cover colour.
It's lovely. It's such a sort of deep blue, isn't it? Fantastic, man. So we've got Vibra Technic engine mounts too. Some sort of different sump as well. Moroso, have you heard of them?
Yeah, I believe it's an American brand. So
okay.
It must work if Dave's using it. Dave's own trigger wheel kit. So basically, when you get into crazy amounts of power, ham angle sensor, which is this little doofer up here, starts to lose its mind. So you need to go over to a trigger wheel kit on the crankshaft itself to know where the engine is in relation to top dead center, so you can get the timing set correctly.
Get the tune.
Yeah, because obviously the timing changes as you rev the engine. So, and then if that wasn't enough, there's an
RB25 Neo.
RB25 Neo.
Yep.
With some more fancy rockers.
Yeah, lovely.
And if that's not enough, here is a VR38,
which is crazy. So that's an R35 GTR lump.
If you could simplify how much stuff needed to bolt to it, I mean that's smaller than an SR.
It's quite incredible, really, when you think about it. It's a tiny block, isn't it? And Dave's also got these cool little sorting trays like you guys saw in Mick's Mad Ford video, same sort of stuff, just to try and keep your engine builds nice and organised. We've also got an array of different nuts, bolts and fasteners.
Hello. Fucking hell,
You're
that's
happy now? You got another body kit.
genuine body kit, genuine charge speed. Yeah, it needs a couple of little repairs.
Carson performance.
Now, what is bigger, a JZ bumper or an S15 bumper?
JZ, because it doesn't
Rear.
drive with the seat. Bye bye DY Engines. What a cool place, man. That was really cool. Amazing sort of seeing all the machining processes sort of first hand.
And Dave's like a super interesting character as well,
Yeah.
isn't he? He is a very skilled engineer, a very clever man, a very nice man.
Yeah. There we go. We are back in the Mitto-mobile. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that cheeky little episode. I did. We had a good time, a good bit of fun at Cage Laser.
I think I enjoyed this episode, mate. We've got a lot of stuff done today.
Yeah, man. And you did a lot of talking for me as well, so I think you've definitely got the job.
That's why you enjoyed this episode.
Yes,
You have to only work.
I just did the filming today. It was really good fun. Me and Mr. Mitto, we're going to probably grab a Macca's and make our way back because we've got a few hours to go. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode and we look forward to seeing you soon. Bye!